Tom Brady's new girlfriend, Irina Shayk. We talked about her a couple episodes ago. She is cutting off certain friends in hopes of making it work with Mr. Brady.
Oh.
Basically, a source told Page Six she is so intent on making this romance work that she is cutting ties with some of her more loose-lipped friends to avoid any embarrassing fumbles. So basically, she's so afraid of when I heard this, I was like, girl,
come on.
Like, did you even DTR yet? Like, are you guys even exclusive yet? Like, did you define the relationship? Why are you cutting people off yet when you don't even have the bag? Like, but then at the same time, I also understand, like, Tom Brady's probably, actually, I don't know him. I don't know if he's down for drama. I feel like the whole divorce thing was kind of drama. But he's not going to want like a influencer girlfriend, influencer wife. That's
like a Real Housewives, bullshit.
That's not what he wants. He doesn't want like the friends of his girlfriend leaking all of his day in my life routines or what he said at dinner. Like, oh my God, did Tom Brady have a glass of wine at your dinner? Like, he doesn't need that or want that.
That's so true.
So I could see why like she's cutting ties, but at the same time, like, do you really need to cut ties? Like, can you just maybe like distance yourself and be a little bit smarter about what you say and like who you bring around him? Perhaps.
Yeah, I have so many thoughts on this. You actually just said it perfectly.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'm just saying,
Thank
like, because, yeah, like, on one hand, I'm like, yeah, you don't want people in your life who are gossiping about you and, like, selling, you know, information to the tabloids. Like, I feel like a lot of people might, like, I guess, in her defense, you might not realize who the genuine people you are, like, that you have in your life are until you're put in the public eye.
Right.
Like, you might think some of your friends are genuine and are good people, and then when you start dating a celebrity and things start getting crazy, you might have those friends who are now talking to people and like gossiping for, you know, their 5 minutes of fame. But so it makes sense.
Let's not forget, she dated Cristiano Ronaldo, the most
that's a really good
famous athlete in the world. So why is she just now cutting people off?
Like acting weird. That's a really good point. Okay, so then I guess I don't as much think that. I think if you have people in your life that have started, you know, are gossiping about you, yes, creating distance I think is a really good idea. But like, why do you need to change just when you get into this relationship? That's what I'm wondering, because sure, your friends might be now gossiping about your relationship, but like they probably were gossiping about you before, or like talking about your old relationships too. Maybe this is the straw that broke the camel's back. I don't know.
Maybe she's trying to learn from past mistakes with her relationship with Cristiano.
True. Okay, I could see that. Like, last time I was in a public eye relationship, you know, this person said things, so now I'm just gonna cut people off. It's just
we don't know. That's the thing. We don't know.
It is
who.
Yeah.
What?
No, I was just gonna say, it's like, it is interesting to me though, because we don't know any of the details. So it could be like, all right, these people that aren't trustworthy, I'm just gonna distance myself from them. I'm like, I've known this about them for a while. The timing is just funny though, because like, to your, I think, original point of making all these changes when you get into a relationship about yourself and your friendships, I think that's a little strange. Like, sure, maybe things have come to light where you've made those changes, but if things haven't, like if she hasn't just randomly discovered that her friend is talking to the tabloids or something, and she's just more so like proactively cutting people out of her life, I think that's so weird, because like, it's the oldest, you know, thing. You're not supposed to change for a boy. Someone likes you because they like you. If you have to change to fit into an image of what you think they want you to be, they don't belong with you. And the truth is always going to come out in the wash, because I'm sorry, at the end of the day, people don't like to think about this, but your friends and the people around your life are a reflection of you. So if you're surrounded by a bunch of gossips, chances are you're a gossip. Like, sure, maybe you have one toxic friend, but if you have a bunch of people in your life that are loose-lipped and like all this stuff, like, you know, is that because you're kind of like that too? I'm just honestly, might not be fun to realize. So if you're like, well, I'm just gonna proactively cut everyone out, and then maybe he won't notice that like I'm a drama queen, like that's not gonna work. Not saying that's what she's doing, but it's funny.
That's the thing, we have no idea. Maybe she's flipping a new page. Maybe she, used to be drama, no longer wants to be drama. Maybe that's why her relationship failed with Cristiano. We have no idea, but I did, like, when I read this, I did initially think it was concerning because, to your point, you should never change for a man. No. Especially this soon. Like, they just started talking. That we know of. Yes. We don't know exactly how long they've been talking, but in the public eye, it hasn't been long. So I just think it's a little soon to be making serious life changes. And, like, those friends are going to remember that. When you guys eventually sizzle out, which hopefully that never happens, but when and if it does.
You're like, hopefully it never happens, but like when it does.
I think we're like the biggest hypocrites.
I know.
It's fine though. But like we see both sides of the coin.
It's easy
and
to see both sides.
That's what's good about us.
What's unique about us is that we never have an original thought. We just see we see all sides and we take whatever stance we want that will, serve our
we'll go viral on TikTok.
Yeah, that will serve our purpose for this week, and then next week it'll be something totally different. I'm kidding.
That's it. You never know what you're gonna get.
I remember back in the day, like this is like maybe during like our YouTube days.
Oh God,
like real back.
TBT.
We did a segment on like relationships and talking about men and
just men.
Just about men, but it was about the topic of what you can do to make a man like you.
Oh my God, and we asked all of our guy friends, right?
Yes, we did. But I think the general thing is that there is nothing you can do to make a man like you.
True.
Nothing, which is so weird. Like, sure, you can make yourself seem, funnier and smarter and maybe more attractive, and maybe it will work for a while. But I just think that a guy is either going to be into you or they're not. And the truth will always come out in the wash. And that's why, like, there are some people you can get into relationships with where, like, you can be a complete weirdo. And, like, you can completely mess up on the first date. And you can act like a crazy person.
And chase rats down an alley.
Chase rats down an alleyway. And the guy will still coming back for more. And then there's other situations where you're like, I was funny, I was charming, my hair was bouncy, my winged eyeliner was perfect that night, and he never called me back, and I don't know why. Like I did everything. Like I had like a sports center like ding tone go off in the middle of dinner just so he'd think I was into sports. Like I did everything and like it didn't work. And I just think it's like you can't make someone like you, Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that speaks to this situation. I just think we all need to remember that sometimes, like when I get into a relationship and I'm changing all these things to make him think I'm like cooler and chiller and more down to earth than I really am, it's like that isn't gonna work. You can't have someone fall in love with a version of yourself. Like if they're not gonna fall in love with who you really are, like it's all a facade, and eventually that's gonna come to light, and that might happen in 3 months, it might happen in a year. I don't know when, but like that'll be a scary day when they realize that like you're not who they thought that
and then you're back to square one, finding the third best athlete in the world.
Yeah, they started finding
who's that?
I guess her situation is like pretty good. So
yeah,
like,
she's got it good. She's a Russian supermodel.
She'll probably like
dating Tom Brady.
The more I think about it, she'll probably be fine. Like even if she changes who she is, I'm talking about like the rest of us, normal people.
Us normal gals.
Us normal gals.
Oh God. Well, honestly, do you think this relationship will last?
I don't know.
I have a feeling it might.
Why?
Longer than we think.
Okay, just because she's making all the right moves.
Just because, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
she's committed. You know what it is? Tom definitely needs a girl that's like committed to him.
Right.
Yeah.
I do think he must have a type, models.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like that's most guys' types.
Fuck.
Yeah. But I think like the difference is that Tom Brady can actually land a model. Like I have a lot of guy friends that are like, I'd love to date a model.
Yeah, okay.
Also, like, I don't know if Tom strikes you this way, but part of me is like, do you think he's kind of a loyal guy? Like when he finds a girl, I mean, he's had his fair share of dating, but when he finds his girl, like let's say he ends up getting really serious with this girl, do you see him as being someone that's like swayed by other women, or is kind of like, maybe he could be in a relationship but keep his options open, or do you think he's like very committed because that's like his personality?
Okay, I was thinking, the first thought that came to my mind was I think his career will always come first.
His first love, okay.
So I think that because you know, he might not be the type of person to need like a spouse in his life. Like he may want one.
Yeah.
It might be nice to have. Like I don't need a Chanel bag. I want a Chanel bag. It'll look nice on my arm. But like if I don't have it, like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to die without it. He's giving that to me. So I think
part of me doesn't hate that though. Like I think that being someone that feels like you need a relationship makes you kind of an unhealthy partner.
I do think that no one needs that, but I do think it's sad that like, and I'm not saying he should have stayed with Giselle, because if you're in an unhappy relationship or marriage, you shouldn't stay. I mean, we've gone back and forth when to give up, when not to give up, but it just strikes me as like, okay, so you're just gonna recycle through women and like hope that like one is gonna do everything that you want them to do. And I don't know. I feel like he probably doesn't have as much of an emotional attachment.
Okay.
So would he cheat? I don't know, but I think maybe he would be quicker to get rid of this girl.
Makes sense.
And the next girl. And the next girl.
Gotcha.
Because he's Tom Brady. So he could have whoever he wants.
Not that you don't think he's like a serial cheater. You think he's just more so not super invested in, like the women aren't like the center of his world. Yeah. Essentially. Okay. I think that's a good point.
Do you think he's a cheater pumpkin?
I honestly don't know. I don't really think so. Like he does strike me as someone where like he finds someone and he likes them and he's like, all right, cool. But I agree. I think it's because he's not like constantly like obsessing and like looking for someone.